What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to yet another matchup, the final one for the night. We'll be heading into the Novice League, and I am joined here by the most magical of pizza toppings in Nemesis. What's going on, Magic Pep?
Not much. It's good to be back in the booth after a week of no internet. So it's a little rusty. We'll see how it shakes off heading into the Novice League. We got some big names ready to clash on stream and really an important matchup in division. So we'll see who takes a crucial hold really of their division because it's a very tight division right now.
Yeah, a lot of pretty big names in Nemesis in this one in the Novice League. Pawns going up against the Spitfires here, holding the same record actually at 4-2, and both of them are also at 1-1 in division matchups. So, like you said, this is going to be a big one to see who does manage to squeak out the division. And I gotta take it to you. You know, I know these players. It looks like pretty even teams, but what's the difference makers in this matchup, Magic?
I mean, for one side, it's got to be removing Pillow for the Pawns. I mean, he's the highest MMR player on their team by a substantial margin, and he's got to be the catalyst for their team to get going early on, not really fall asleep at the wheel because they got swept on Monday in by their one of the other divisional matchups they had. They played the Vandals and got swept, so they got to start off hot and not fall behind, or they'll be on the fast road back to 0-3 in another matchup. And you got to go with North on the other side. North is him. He's the guy that gets it going every time. He's the highest MMR player or second highest in their team. And he is my personal favorite player in the Novice League. So we'll see what he can do tonight.
All right. Well, with that in mind, of course, I'm going to ask you a follow-up. You said before this that you knew who was winning this
Mm.
series, so I got to hear your confident prediction here.
This is a 3-0 for the Spitfires. And just
Oh,
hold me to it, but I got a feeling.
oh, Cream as a chess hall GM streaming this one is got to be not too happy about that one. I don't know if we're gonna see a sweep here. We just saw a sweep in the last game. We'll have to see. I think that the Pawns have more than enough fight in them to at least take a couple games, but we will see as we get into this one. Right off the bat, North gonna take a high shot at the net. It will be just off, and that's a huge
Oh,
setup. What an own goal! Oh my goodness, an absolute clanger, but it's on the wrong net to start things off.
only North would know if he puts it right there that he would own goal. That's just a big brain play and a smart play showing that North is going to dominate this lobby. And realistically, that's just one of those nerves coming out early kind of situations for the Pawns. And need to avoid that, as I said, and not drop down too far in this first game.
Yeah, that is, we'll call that perfect placement on the shot there. He knew
Yeah.
that the defender was going to be in an awkward position and be forced to basically own goal it. Well, that's definitely not how you want to start off if you are the Pawns. It was a tough save, but definitely able to keep that out of the net. Now they will have to try to regain quickly here. Sepp coming through with a shot. It's going to be high over. Silent going up for the read. Almost finds it, actually. Does get a piece as it's sent across the net. Won't result in the equalizer just yet, but they are starting to get some good pressure. Silent going to hit this one to the corner. Looking for a moving Pillow who takes to the sky, getting it past one. Will get sent out. So we're playing a little bit of back and forth now. Like you said, Magic, sometimes the nerves can play a bit of a factor. You know you're on stream. You know there's a good amount of people watching. It can make you a little bit shaky, a little bit jittery. The nerves don't look as big of a problem for the Spitfires right now, who are putting on some shots. Now it will be North boxing out. Mr. Silent just keeping him away from the play here. This one's going to go high over the net as Silver J tries to make something happen. But he can't quite find any opportunities on net. And, I mean, other than that little unfortunate own goal there, we haven't really seen too much in terms of threatening shots from either side for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, coming from getting swept on Monday as the Pawns, you're going to start off slow because you're like, damn, we can't be embarrassed on stream this time. So you can see the nerves early on. Spitfires showing a lot of confidence in the way they're playing. Very clean rotations, really. I haven't seen any mistakes come through from the Spitfires rotations. So if they can keep up the speed as Silver is showing here, they're going to have some open net opportunities, but a good save by Mr. Silent. And I'm happy what I'm seeing from the Pawns right now as they've cleaned up their rotations and they're giving us a really close first game right here.
Yeah, it definitely looked like that first mistake was definitely a one-off. They've cleaned up the defense quite a bit. As I say that, a little bit of a fake almost sneaks past through to the goal line. But they have looked much more solid on defense, always having someone back, someone ready to intercept. So here comes Pillow, going to be able to 50 it off the corner. Who will get there first? It is North, who keeps it close. Tries to keep control, but he won't really be able to get back to this one with the defense and offense once again. Paranoid Monk gonna look to send this one center. He might not have to do much as Pillow just barely gets back in time. And the Pawns have had to make a few of these diving clears. If Spitfires here were just a tiny bit more aggressive, they might have garnered an even greater lead. The score remains 1-0 for now. Pillow hitting it off the backboard. Sepp trying to get there as well. Good clear from the defense, and that one will be sent all the way down. As all the players up, actually, from the Pawns, they're out of coordination. Paranoid Monk can get this one through. He almost gets a double touch. It was a bit too tight to ask for the read. That was another close effort by the Spitfires as they were putting on this pressure, leaving themselves somewhat open to the counterattack. The Pawns haven't really shown much threatening on the other side of the pitch. Sepp hitting this one out to the corner. Pillow keeping it in the corner. That should allow for a free clear from the Spitfires as the Pawns looking a little bit awkward here. They will get a nice shot on net, but it's easily blocked away. And I mean, so far it looks like Spitfires just playing solidly. And if it weren't for that one own goal, we might have a 0-0 game here. But as it works, the playstyle is working out perfectly for the Spitfires.
Yeah, it feels like we're watching a 0-0 scoreline, a defensive battle. Both teams pretty much perfect rotations. You haven't seen many slip-ups come through. And even when those accidental fakes happen, there is another defender there to clean up the mess and keep it out of harm's way. But as the last minute rolls around, it's got to be the Pawns that get something going. And this is not the correct way to start it, but a nice save by Septune is going to keep it out of harm's way again here. And if they can flip sides of the field here, we might have an interesting last couple seconds of this game.
This one will be a little bit awkward in the corner. So Pawns had a bit of an opportunity to get things going. Silent might still be able to remain, but he's beat out once again. Silver dribbling this one backwards. Actually, a huge back pass. I kind of like that. I don't know if he exactly intended to go that way, but that was nice. Silver gonna hit this one off, and now only 12 seconds left. Pawns really don't want to lose this game by that small margin, but it looks like that might have been the difference maker as another one goes in the back of the net. And that should secure the game victory for the Spitfires, 2-0.
Yeah, and at that point, you kind of just throw the kitchen sink, and if we have 5 seconds to score, we can't just wait for them to hit it to us. So Septune taking matters into his own hands and commits his third man. You can't really be upset with that, but really, unless something crazy here happens, a very solid Game 1 victory, but not a bad loss either for the Pawns, as if it wasn't for that one unfortunate own goal, we'd probably be in overtime right now.
It can always be a bit tilting when you really feel like it was that one crucial mistake that lost you the game, especially when it was so early on. I mean, like we've said, other than that, it was pretty much a defensive battle, and neither team was really giving much to the other. The Pawns looking solid on their rotations, even if they were a little bit slow sometimes. They were able to make those diving clears, get the ball out, and the Spitfires on the other end, I mean, just didn't really allow any shooting opportunities. The Pawns did clock in at 3 shots, but I can't even really remember any of them. None of them were really even close to going in, it felt like, and the Spitfires just held control once they got that lead.
Yeah, all 3 shots converted into saves for the Spitfires. It was kind of just while the ball's rolling towards my net at 5 miles an hour, I guess I'll clear it. And that's all the pressure that they had. So they played really good defense. I'm not going to lie, that looked pretty solid in terms of rotations on their back half, but they got to translate it into some counterattacks because there were a few moments where that back pass coming through, if that guy just chases the back pass, he could have dunked 2 people and probably been a goal, but he just let it happen, and the time ticked away. So Pawns, 0 goals in Game 1. How do you translate your opportunities that you had into maybe some offense here in Game 2? Because you do not want to get swept in the perfect sweep style. So it's still on the table, but we'll see if they can deny it right here in Game 2.
That's what I'm wondering. You know, I would say you called the perfect sweep way too early, which I think you have. But I do remember that other time where you called a perfect sweep like halfway through Game 1, and somehow it did end up being a perfect sweep. So maybe you are onto something there. Still, I stick by what I said. I think the Pawns have a lot of fight left in them. You know, like we already talked about, they didn't look that bad in game number 1. They just didn't really create too many opportunities for themselves, and they can start to switch that up, maybe create a little bit more chaos, get some demos going, cut rotations just to get that huge attack going. As Pillow here, going to get a huge dunk. This could be their first. This one's awkward. I think Silent will be able to get it. That one It's extremely sketchy, but he does manage to put it in the back of the net, and pawns are on the board.
I think we all just had the same little heart attack when that ball hit crossbar, and he was already trying to aerial up to reach it, but he boosted his way back down to the ground, and the pawns ending the perfect sweep before it even gets going. And another huge kickoff goes right into the net, and that would pretty much take away any dominance that the pawns are going to have in this game. No 1-0 game for them, as they're going to tie it right back up. Spitfires, much needed.
I wonder if we're going to see a much different game than game one. You know, sometimes in these series, especially in the Novice, it can be a bit chaotic. There are games where only 1 or 2 goals get scored, and then there are other games where defense, you know, goes on vacation. And this might be one of those games. Sep going to get a nice shot through, though, actually. Got to give credit where it's due, as pawns looking to fight back.
I mean, that is just a banger from Sep as he puts it right in the top bin in silver. He has no chance to get to that. So just like that, the pawns putting 2 more goals on the board than they had in the last game. And now it's time for the Spitfires to answer without a kickoff goal coming through.
Silent going for the ceiling shot. Does get the touch, but Monk was ready and waiting for that one. If it was a little bit more power, could have even seen our 3rd goal from the pawns there. But they still look like they look much more confident in this game. I don't think it's just me. They are going for things that they were not going for last game, and they are so close to getting their 3rd here. Overcommitting a little bit. They have to be careful, as that will result in a counterattack. And yeah, it looks like we're seeing a much different game than game one.
You could see the split second where I think that was removing pillow. Yeah, where he thought about, I should just go back, play this safe, let him clear it to me. But no, I must turn on this ball. I must keep the pressure, and he gets dusted. And that's the end of that. So we're back tied 2-2 now. And regardless of the kickoff here, this is just an absolute bloodbath early on in game 2.
And it might get even worse as Sep coming through with the air dribble. The man has warmed up now, and he is looking to bring it back for the pawns. Another beautiful goal for the pawns.
Sep is turning up right here in game 2. I mean, I called on removing pillow to be the guy to get them going. He's sitting at the bottom of the scoreboard, and his team is still winning. So shout out to Sep for how he's playing in this game too, and getting the offense alive.
Indeed, and it looks like both offenses very much alive. Like I said, the defenses might have gone on short notice, as North will prove me wrong temporarily. We'll manage to keep that one out, and that's a good sign. A lot of the times, if you can stop the bleeding, you can start to turn the momentum the other way. So that's a nice shot coming out, but Sep completely ready for it. Silver J again hit this one over the backboard. Does he have the read? He doesn't quite get it. Might have been blocked either way. And now we will never know. Is this one bouncing up dangerously? North with this shot hits way too high. I don't know if there's a follow-up there. Monk will be there eventually. This one's going to be a bit awkward. And there is the Spitfires kind of missing out on some somewhat free opportunities. If they had placed those shots just on the net, there's a pretty high likelihood they score, but they might still be able to. Monk will actually steal this goal in what looked like an attempt to save it, but the Spitfires do manage to even the score out.
Poor North was trying to get his 1st goal of the series, or actually might have been the 2nd, but his teammates were having none of it. This Paranoid Monk, right place we'll call it, but almost saved it, to be honest. But they get the lucky roll, and it'll tie the game right back up.
We just call that a nice little goal steal. He was in the right spot at the right time. Even though it was close as this one. That's somehow a goal. I'm not sure what's happening in this game anymore, to be honest, but we are witnessing some shenanigans.
There was sparks flying off that man's car for a solid 2 seconds before he died. But it does end up turning into a goal, as the Pawns, they like to have a 1-goal lead, and if they could keep it here, as the game's not even halfway over, we have 7 goals gone by.
Yeah, we have almost quadrupled the amount of goals from game 1. And if we see another one, as Silver J might have an opportunity here, can't quite get there in time. But the Pawns are doing well. They're creating the chaos like I talked about. They got the demos for the last goal. There's Sep coming through as well with another one. They're trying to switch things up, and it has been working so far. But I'm just mildly fearful for them that they forgot that they still do have to play defense. Even with this lead, the Spitfires could come back in an instant, but not if Pillow has anything to say about it. Almost managing to get that one through. The ball will be sent back to the Pawns half. That one looks like it's on target. North is going to be able to get there, and it's just back and forth, back and forth. Another tie game on our hands.
Yeah, Sep, he tried to greed for the boost spawn. I don't think it did. and it was his demise either way. It is a nice pass midfield by Paranoid Monk and a good finish by North. And would you look at that? We are tied again.
Who would have thought? Now we have officially quadrupled the goals in game one to here. And they're not really showing any signs of slowing down. This one got to be sent to the midfield as Paranoid Monk gang it up high. Sep, I got flashbacks to game one where that was an own goal in that position, but this time he does improve on his play. Manages to get the read. Silver barely manages to get back in time. This one will stay center. Sep gonna try to 50 it. It will be out from Silver. J removing Pillow, barely making the touch there, but he does well to get out. This long-range game of ping pong is going on even further. Silver with a nice read, actually. It's a crucial clear. Can he get anything off of this, though? Just wants to hit off the backboard, trying to find his teammate as Monk also hanging it off the backboard. Pillow can't get the touch, and that shot will be on, but Sep, with the diving save, just barely manages to get it out. Keeping the lead from going back in the Spitfires' favor. I mean, you have to think if you're the pawns here, you give the Spitfires more advantage. They're going to be up 2-0, and they will go up 5-4 for the game. Now, is that their first lead of the series, actually? Or of the game, actually? I haven't been able to keep track.
It has been pawn score, Spitfires answer the entire way, and I mean, I feel bad for Sep right now. He's playing an incredible game. 3 goals, 4 saves. His teammates, not that they're playing bad, but you can definitely feel like there's holes in the defense when Sep is not there to save the day. And now they have to score from behind. Some territory they have been unsuccessful with and unfamiliar with here in Game 2.
I have to agree. I mean, Sep has been doing just absolutely the most. He's been scoring. He's been making saves. He's been making plays all over the board. And that's a tough one. You just spawn. That's going to be another one. And now Spitfire is starting to run away with Game 2 as well.
Yeah, I mean, he just spawns in, but it wasn't in any situation to make a save. A good powerful shot by Silver. And I think that probably does put a bit of a stranglehold on this game because the Pawns offense, I think they've been held scoreless. It's about 2 minutes left in the game, so kind of cooling off here. And now they're looking at a reverse sweep situation, or they're going home with a back-to-back sweeps in this week.
It is looking like they probably will be in that situation. You know, we scored goals at a rapid rate. Somewhere along the line, the Pawns did slow down, and I hate to call out any one player in particular, but I really expect removing Pillow to be stepping up here, especially with the support of his teammates. It feels like he's just having a little bit of trouble getting involved. And you have to feel like if they were playing fully together as a team, they would be able to take another game and have a chance in this one.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Removing Pillow, it's a good 60 MMR above any of his teammates, as Sep puts another one on target. And he finishes the game with 4 goals, 4 saves, so it cannot be his fault that they're losing right now, because he's playing really well. But we'll see how they answer against Adversity, as they need 3 games in a row, or they're losing another crucial divisional matchup here in the divisional week. And we'll see what they can draw up, as North and the gang, they're playing pretty solid right now.
And I have to agree, the defense definitely was not as clinical as game one for either team here. The Spitfires still managing to outshoot the Pawns and just get, well, not outshoot, but outscore. They actually had less shots, but were able to pull off 6 goals to the 5. And that really feels like a testament to the quality of the Spitfires shooting as compared to the Pawns. The Pawns, meanwhile, I mean, this is such a tough position. You just got swept on your last matchup, your last division matchup, and now you're facing getting swept 2 times in a row. I mean, you really need to reach deep here and find some way. But at this point, I mean, what can you do to try and put a stop to the Spitfires' momentum?
Well, let's see. Spitfires had 10 shots. Sep had 4 saves. Can you guess how many goals the Spitfires still had? Do a little math here. If Sep didn't save it, it was probably going in their goal. And that's probably what was the problem there. It was every single goal that was not, or shot that wasn't saved by Sep was in the back of their net. So, I mean, I don't want to act like Sep's 1v5 in this series, but he's doing a hell of a good job of keeping his team afloat. So if we can get some, I mean, they don't really need offense at this point. They had 4 goals. That's usually plenty. It would have been plenty in game 1, but their defense, they need to clean it up. They need to do it now.
Have to agree. You just can't be letting in 6 goals, especially when the Spitfires have looked pretty difficult to score on for the most part. But we'll be heading into game 3 here with high hopes for the Pawns. Series is not over by any stretch of the imagination. We've seen two very different games so far. Very defensive battle and then a fairly offensive battle right after. The Pawns can just keep up with this changing climate. There is a huge likelihood that they can at least take one game here, and that's really all they have to be focused on. Trying to find a little bit of momentum, a little bit of rhythm, and that huge shot to start it off is just what they need. Mr. Silent coming out of nowhere with a banger.
It's nice to say somebody else's name for a goal here for the Pawns as a clanger to the bottom left. And the momentum that they need, but they did start off with a 1-0 score last game, and they gave up a kickoff goal. So we'll see what's coming here. Looks pretty solid, and a nice goal coming through. Now they need to play some defense.
Like you said, that's exactly what they needed. But now they need to keep this momentum going. They can't let the Spitfires immediately come back and equalize. Another good attempt by the Pawns. Another huge shot, but Paranoid Monk will send that one away. Spitfires being forced back to their own half. Looking a little bit uncomfortable, but still managing to deal with it. Silver J with the pre-flip, actually. Getting that one out of play. There will be a huge dunk coming through, but Mr. Silent cleaning it up. He does not look like he wants to get swept, and that's a huge blunder, actually. That one's so close. Mr. Silent couldn't quite make the read off of the defensive misplay by the Spitfires. But they're getting some good looks here. They're looking to get even more aggressive, pumping it up, and meanwhile trying to keep Spitfire's opportunities to a minimum. North hitting this one off the sidewall. Might try to follow it up himself. Does get a demo. And gets a bump as well. That net is open, but Paranoid Monk can't make the shot. It was such a good play by North. Okay, it still goes in either way. North really was the one who deserved the assist for that, but it will eventually go in the back of the net.
This is day like 500 of me asking Rocket League to give demos counting as an assist when it results in a goal, because North gets no points for that. But I think there's no doubt in any of our minds who caused that goal. So shout out to North with a huge play, getting physical in the goal line, and Paranoid Monk finishing it off the second time he had the chance.
Ooh, and the infield pass coming out from the Pawns. I love that idea. It was just off target. If that was a little bit more accurate, it could have been a goal for them. But I like that they're getting creative. They're trying to find some different ways to score here, not just rushing it at the net over and over. They realize they're in a dire situation. Trying to make the most of it. Here comes Sepp. We'll get high over one. Don't think this ball is going to be shootable, but it will be sent middle. And sent right back into the Pawns back line. As Sepp not getting the best touch there. That was a little bit dangerous, but speaking of dangerous, if there was any boost in the tank there for Pillow, could have been a shot. So I'm just getting sent right back into the half of the Spitfires, who have looked fairly awkward on defense so far in this game. They haven't really been able to keep up with the same pace. So that one a little bit close there. And it seems like we're seeing a re-energized Pawns here. I mean, they do not look like they want to get swept in this series.
No, I mean, not that I'm hoping for them to get swept, but my prediction was kind of based off of Sepp playing well and removing Paranoid Monk playing well, because he's looking really good. But Sepp stepping up is kind of like the X factor right now to prove me wrong and take a game off of them. And he's at the bottom of the scoreboard. So if Pawns can make something happen with the other two players, they are more than capable of taking a game off this team. This is not a juggernaut in the Spitfires, but Paranoid Monk, a one-on-one situation, can't get the dunk. And with time taken away very quickly, very low scoring game here compared to last game.
And for the sake of your nerves, I mean, if you're the Pawns, you have to try and get an advantage before it heads to overtime. I mean, the Spitfires still have a couple games to buffer, even if they lose this one. Pawns only have one in the series left. They do not want to make it close. So the pre-jump didn't quite work out there. Pawns all coming forward. That one's so close, but the bounce is not going to favor the Pawns. Will just be cleared away as every player is just rushing right past the ball. They're actually going to leave it for the Spitfires. I don't know if that was a good decision, but passed right back anyways. Paranoid Monk getting this past one. North getting this out. Paranoid Monk going to go up for this, trying to get the redirect. Does get it to the corner. It's not really in a shootable position. Now it is. Silver J with the shot, and he makes it good. Spitfires coming back with the offense, and they take another advantage.
I mean, this is as good as it gets from the Spitfires offense. Just non-stop assault. Two people in net with a well-placed shot. Kind of the story of the day. Silver, when he gets a chance, he is putting it really high up in the goal where the defender could not reach it. And good shooting is resulting in another lead for the Spitfires. Can the
Hold up.
Pawns do it with the backs against their
Oh.
wall? Huge save from North, has to make another one, but no, whiff comes through and a sigh of relief.
That was such a good shot from the pawns there. I didn't even see exactly who shot it, but I saw it was just headed directly on target. The defense remaining strong for the Spitfires. They only have to hold on for 30 seconds more to get this sweep and take a really nice position in their division. Here comes Paranoid Monk, looking for the hook shot, but it gets a little bit away from him. Regardless, it will head over the backboard. Sepp can't get a piece of it. It's going to continue to be awkward in this corner. Spitfires just have to play keep away, but they do allow the opportunity for at least one more attack. Sepp hitting it back and off the backboard. If they can put this one away, surely it's over. Silent, going to keep it up. The ball's still in the air for now, but they have so far to go, and they won't be able to. Spitfires, another close game to close it out, but they managed to take the lead, and they come out victorious in the sweep.
Yeah, that's a painful loss, especially in the game three. There is it really felt like a team effort. Everybody was chipping in. It wasn't just one guy, and they still came up short. Great defense, really, from the Spitfires. And I mean, shout out to North. I feel like he was just pre-jumping people towards the end there to make saves, and it was enough to get the job done and take a really good hold in their division, going to 5-2. And I don't think the Vandals have played yet, but that's the matchup they're looking at. Another divisional team that's similar in the standings, so we'll keep an eye out for that. But really good spot for the Spitfires to be at right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with that 2-1 divisional advantage, now they're going to be looking good. A nice win over the Pawns. I mean, that's going to boost your confidence. If you're the Pawns, though, I wouldn't really be too hard on yourself. Spitfires played well in that game, and it was a little bit difficult, it felt like, for the Pawns to find their rhythm. But when we saw those moments, I mean, they had those shots where they would come out of nowhere and show their true potential. Unfortunate, this one did have to be a sweep, but GG, you always go next. And with that said, a little bit of a short one to end the stream. We will be ending a little bit soon here, unfortunately. But before we go, we do have to shout out our Challenger premium subscribers in the Nemesis server. If we could get that graphic pulled up real quick, and there it is. Oh, it's all of the premium subscribers. Okay, sorry, I thought it was just the Challenger or something. But we do have all of our Nemesis premium subscribers there. Thank you guys for supporting the league. You guys are the real MVPs, keeping us afloat. We couldn't do it without you. And yeah, any final thoughts on the series there, Magic?
Um, it's definitely a painful one for the Pawns, but they showed a lot of good stuff today, and I think they're a very capable team of finishing out the rest of the season with some good games because they lost every one of those games so close. So nothing to feel upset about, but just a really good game for the Spitfires and a good series to finish the night off. Excuse me, the night off one.
Absolutely. Thank you guys once again so much for watching. It's been a pleasure, and we will see you guys back here on Wednesday, 8 p.m. EST. Oh, before we go, actually, we do have a gifted sub, Chuck the Stud, gifting a tier 1 subscription to Silver J. Much obliged, appreciate it, and congrats on the gifted sub. That's huge. Got the little fire flame emoji there now. But yeah, that's about going to do it, guys. Thanks for sticking with us, and we will catch you back here on Wednesday. Take care, everyone.